your group have undertaken?
Well, first I'd like to acknowledge the Yawuru people on whose land that we're meeting today, pay my respects to their elders past, present and future, extending that acknowledgement to my Nyambalis, my bosses who are here today, so there are some directors from Goomera that are here to listen to the presentation, and then also extend that to all other First Nations people. I identify as a Nyawuru person. That's from my grandfather's side, as I come from a paternalistic law and culture background. On my grandmother's side, my great-grandmother was taken from Turkey Creek and taken to Beagle Bay. Her daughter, that was my great-grandmother was taken from Beagle Bay to Roban, where she met my grandfather, who was a Marami Jabroni man. I'm a Burungu person, so I understand where I sit within the kinship links, and I think that's important when it comes to running a corporation with traditional owners, is that you need to understand the complexities and the dynamics between walking corporate and cultural governance. I've worked on not-for-profit and corporate boards for over 15 years, but I must say that working for and with my people in a collaborative manner is probably one of the best positions that I've ever had, because you can actually see the capacity building that occurs within your own people, and there's nothing better than to see your mob working their way up through the ladder to run their own corporations. When it comes to Goomera, to us, good governance is obviously the foundation for a successful business. It's about the balance of power and influence within our people. And I mean, it was said previously, but our Aboriginal people have been here for thousands of years. And during that time, we have held governance systems that have worked very, very well. I mean, these governance systems have withstood ice ages and dinosaurs and any other type of assimilation policy that's been thrown at us. So on that basis, it must be something then that Western corporations and legislation should try and look at rather than recreate the wheel within itself. We adhere to our own rules, values and protocols within our communities, and then also have the additional pressure of having to adhere to Western legislation that is imposed from our regulators. Elders have played an important role when it comes to our communities because they have earned and deserve the respect that they have. The creation of Elders Councils ensures that people with the right cultural authority can speak and provide guidance to a board. But when I say elder, I don't necessarily mean somebody who has hit a certain year of age. Our Juju and Jarangali can be of any age. It depends what cultural knowledge and wisdom that you have and the law and culture that you have been through. So I've heard previously that there are other communities that say an elder is someone over 70. Well, that doesn't really work for us within the Pilbara. The younger generation also have valuable insights to share, but they may feel discouraged in coming to share that information because they may be questioned by elders. It is not your role within a community as a young person to speak up in a forum like that. So this is something that I'm extremely passionate about, is how can we navigate through this corporate and cultural governance systems? How can we develop the succession planning of our young people to feel that they have a role to play, because they obviously are our future moving forward. Another issue that we see is the clash that comes with corporate and cultural governance. In a Mungadi situation, how am I supposed to have a robust discussion with someone that I'm meant to be in an avoidance relationship with? So that's where it is hard when it comes to decision making to ensure that everybody is well informed. It's also, do I listen to a senior man who is on the board as a director because through my kinship he is our senior cultural authority, or do I make a decision based on my roles, duties and responsibilities as a director under Western legislation? Because no matter what decision we make, we're going to upset somebody and breach one of our laws, and then we need to live with the consequences of breaching that law. We must give our younger generation opportunities to learn and grow, and so I loved the KMAC situation of the elders and youngers working together, because it is that dual transfer of knowledge, and it's obviously something again that helps in preparing our future leaders. So Goomera itself has a self-determined board of 12 traditional owners from 3 language groups. So we represent the Inawanga Banjima and Nyirwali people from the Pilbara region. It's about 1,600 people, and Goomera, our commercial agreement predates native title. So our land use agreement is currently in its 21st year of existence, and it's something that we're extremely proud of. We do not have independent directors on our corporation board, but that doesn't stop us seeking expert advice on an as-needs basis. I think you're probably never going to get a group of people that will always agree, but it's a matter of disagreeing in a respectful and professional manner, because in the end of the day, we're all working for the common vision of our corporation moving forward. My directors demonstrate effective and inclusive leadership by working with and advocating for our people, but also developing partnerships with other communities, because it allows us to work together again in a collaborative manner throughout the Pilbara. We also conduct a thorough induction process with regular internal governance reviews, and this ensures that we are working in alignment with best practice frameworks. But just finally, when it comes to independent directors, one of the pearls of wisdom, I guess, that I want everyone to take away is don't think an independent director has to be a gadiga or a wajibara. An independent director can be a very well experienced and skilled Aboriginal person that can bring knowledge to your board. Don't think independent equals non-Indigenous, because that's not correct at all. We need to ensure that we are building capacity of all First Nations people across the country.
Fantastic. Are they rock stars? So I suppose what